We're hearing from more residents of Hollywood today about some dangerous dogs they say are terrorizing their neighborhood.
Also tonight, firefighters say dogs have been terrorizing a Buffalo neighborhood.
Terrorized in Tarzana, people say a pack of dogs has them living in fear.
New tonight, neighbors in Melbourne say a dog is terrifying them. They've called animal control and say those calls are going unanswered.
We begin tonight with a call to action from neighbors in the Del Mar area who say their pet cats are being viciously attacked by dogs who are running stray in the neighborhood.
Comparisons or whatever, or analogies, like a paladin, like in Dungeons and Dragons, like a paladin would always be like the truthful, like that's their thing, by oaths and honesty and stuff like that. So they're almost always seen like that's their thing, being the good guys in some sense. So like dogs kind of have that reputation in a way, like they can do no wrong. Whereas with cats, they would be much more of like a rogue kind of, where they can do good, but they're seen as more like not trusted kind of thing. But yeah, I'm curious what, if any, if your specifics on that kind of, or if you feel like it elaborating more on that comment you made with the dogs being like that. But yeah, I could totally see what you mean to some extent.
All right. First of all, Kirk, I'm very thank you very much for replying to my video. I do appreciate the time you took to record this and give your opinion about it. I wanted to comment first really quick where you kind of said that it seems as if you were wondering if maybe I was being hyperbolic when I made the claim that I believe that dogs are the work of demons, or that they're demonic. And I wasn't being hyperbolic. I literally meant that for what it was, like. And I have my reasons for saying things, like I don't say things just to say it a lot of times. And I think it's normal to be a little hyperbolic sometimes, and I'm pretty sure I'm guilty of that as well, as much as anybody else. But I do have my rationale kind of laid out. And I'm going to go over a little bit, and I'm just giving everybody a heads up that this video is not going to be for the squeamish or soft-hearted. Dog bite statistics are... I'm not sure how to describe it. Gut-wrenching is a good word, especially since it involves so much destruction, especially when it comes to women and children. And dog bite statistics tend to be more skewed in the direction of the order of children, women, elderly, the handicap, and then men would be on the last. If you were to make a pie chart, right, of the people most attacked since it's been documented, children would easily take up 50% of the pie, 50% of the chart. It's just that bad, and this is where my enmity comes from. And I wasn't always like this, okay? I had a dog when I was a boy, like a young boy. I had a chow mix kind of mutt for maybe like a year. He didn't live very long because I think he passed away from heartworms, and I don't remember disliking him, but I didn't remember liking him too much either, kind of neutral. But I've always had cats in my life. I have a very specific memory of when I was 16, I think maybe I was 17, and I had a neighbor who had two chows. I think they were chows. No, they weren't chows, they were, I think they might have been some kind of Rottweiler mix, because I definitely remember them being sort of a kind of a bully breedish kind of dog. There was two of them that were it's like a 10-foot tall fence, and they had a lot of property next to us, so they kind of had a lot of room to move around and stuff in their backyard, completely fenced in. For the most part, the neighbors would try to keep their dogs under control and on their part of the yard, like every dog owner should. And I have this very specific memory of a kitten being stuck on the other side of the fence, and the two dogs were like, trying to hurt it, trying to kill it, like basically toying with it. And I remember I couldn't get to the kitten, and I kept trying to like grab it between the holes. I think I tried to lift part of the fence up to get to it, and I couldn't do it. So I remember climbing this 10-foot tall fence and jumping over it, or climbing over it rather, and rescuing the kitten that way. I think I tucked it in my shirt and climbed the fence again and went over, and I think I still have the scar. And the dogs didn't do anything to me. They're just like being little, pussies. As soon as I jumped over the fence, they stopped barking and were just kind of cowering. They were just kind of cowering after I jumped the fence, and tucked the kitten in my shirt, went back over the fence, and I had a scar, I think, on my left arm from the top of the fence. It wasn't barbed wire or anything. It was just the pointy ends of the fence kind of dug into me, and I saved the kitten. I let it go, and it just kind of took off. Very specific memory of that. I've always had a soft spot for cats, despite not really ever really owning them or having one. When I was a boy, I did have one orange cat named Red that was very affectionate. He was an outdoor cat, and he would kind of go around the neighborhood and kind of bum food from whoever he could, but from what I could tell, he spent most of his time on our front porch, I guess because I gave him a lot of attention. And I remember really liking that cat. I was sad when he just disappeared one day. Probably got ran over, but it is what it is. It's just the way it goes with outdoor cats. Another memory, real quick, before I get into this. I had a cat named small, kind of calico female cat named Penny, who I adopted after my mother, she went to go start her car one morning, and horrible noise, came from the engine, and she turned off the engine, started again, and turns out there's the cat in the engine who got tore up pretty bad from one of the fans, and we took it to the vet. They stitched it up. It was just a really bad scar on its back, and I think the fan hit her head pretty hard, so it kind of got concussed a little bit. Prescribed her some Tylenol, and I think she was fine after like maybe 3 or 4 days of me nursing with it, like taking care of it really good. I would keep it in my room and feed it and all that. And that was the first time I really experienced an animal actually showing gratitude and affection for being taken care of. Because when it was time to put the kitten back outside, she would always, anytime she heard the front door, she knew it was me, and she would come running out, just super excited to see me, and not just because I would feed it. It was just like she was just super glad, like super happy to just be around me. Like she wouldn't even eat right away. She would just kind of hang out and rub on my leg and do that thing cats do where they wrap their tail around your leg to show affection and whatnot. And I would sit on the steps and watch her eat, and after she'd get done eating, she would kind of lift herself up, half of her body on my lap, with her front paws on my lap, and kind of just chill out and just purr her head off. And kind of the first time I ever experienced an animal show gratitude in any kind of way. So that's a pretty strong memory of cats. And as for dogs, I have a lot of memories of and these, I didn't really think about this till recently. It's like I have a lot of memories of kind of just being harassed by neighborhood dogs all the time. I would actually go out of my way to, let's say for instance, I'm going to my friend's house who lives like 5 blocks down, and I would have to, plan my route to avoid the stupid dogs in people's yards that are off leash and just chase whoever's nearby, and they'll chase whoever, it doesn't matter who. And I was kind of a young boy at the time. I want to say I was maybe 7 or 8, riding my bike everywhere, and I just always had to plan my route when it came to getting around these animals. And the owners didn't care. They didn't care what they did. And that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make. And a lot of people want to make the argument, well, it's the owner's fault. And it's, yeah, it is the owner's fault. But it says a lot about the, let's say, the morality of these kind of animals, of these creatures, because I don't think they have any kind of internal compass that kind of limits their behavior. I think they're just complete slaves to inhibitions, unlike other animals. And the only reason I say that is because nobody bats an eyelash when, let's say for instance, you see a stray cat kind of hanging around. No one's gonna flip out over that. And it's like, as soon as you see a dog, it's like, oh my god, whose dog is that? Does it have a leash? Does it have a collar? You know, blah blah blah. And it's like, it's just that kind of weird visceral reaction to seeing a dog out in the neighborhood, you know. Whereas nobody really cares about the cat because they know the cat's not gonna really do anything. And like the world has to stop as soon as they see a dog, essentially. But let's get into this. I'm not sure how I'm gonna approach this, so I literally just googled dog attacks and hit news, and we're just gonna go over it. And 14 hours ago, 16 hours ago, there's just, you can Google this, you can Google dog attacks tomorrow, you can Google dog attacks months from now and see the same thing, where it's just recent attacks, just attack after attack after attack after attack. Just some kind of drama involving dogs. And just to be fair, let's Google cat attacks, and there is a little bit here, but it's mostly like weird memes, like this one for instance. Here's something from back in March 28th, and that's a few months ago, whereas the dog attacks is literally day after day, hour by hour. You can find something on dog attacks under news, whereas cat attacks you kind of have to go out of your way to really find something. Like this one for instance, back March 15th, this man attacked by a stray on his own porch. Maybe we'll get into that, but I want to focus on this. And like I said, if stuff like this upsets you, then just shut the video off. But some of y'all need to know my rationale behind not liking dogs, and this is a big part of it. And I'm gonna try to go over it the best I can. I hate dogs. That guy, his YouTube channel, I Hate Dogs, I'm not him, so he's better at covering this stuff. He's like a sort of like the go-to guy you want to look at when it comes to dog attacks, because he goes over dog attacks just article by article, video by video, and I don't know how he does it, because I can really only stomach so much before I'm like, I can't listen to this anymore. Like I literally had to take a break from him for like 2 weeks now, because it's just too much sometimes. And this is more of the societal aspect of dogs, like the human society dog relationship, human society / dog relationship that is going on right now. So let's go over it. Police inquiries continue after baby killed by dog. Police investigations are continuing into the death of a baby girl who was attacked by the family's pet dog. The 7-month-old died after being bitten on the head by the animal in Coventry on, I don't know where that is, on Sunday, although its breed has yet to be confirmed by West Midlands Police. The force said on Wednesday, however, the breed was not classed as dangerous, adding the dog had been humanely destroyed. Police have been... Here's the kind of the stupidity, and you're gonna run into this a lot when you start digging into these dog attacks, is that the breed doesn't matter to me. What matters is the action. Like, this dog killed a child, and whether or not the breed was dangerous, quote unquote, doesn't matter. Because what happened is what happened. And you'll see these news articles do this constantly, where they try to kind of scapegoat a breed. Like right now, it's the big scapegoat is bully breeds like pit bulls and Rottweilers and whatnot. And those are the more dangerous breeds, but they're always trying to sweep it under the rug as to, and they're doing this on purpose, by the way. They could easily release the breed of this animal, of this dog, but they're not going to, because if it was a pit bull or something, they would just say it was a pit bull and leave it at that. But since it's another breed besides a dangerous breed, quote unquote, they want to keep it under wraps. This is just what the news does, okay? And you're just gonna really have to take my word for it. I've been investigating this far more than any person should, along with the I Hate Dogs live stream channel. And it's like, y'all are just gonna have to take my word for this when I say. Okay, so this must have been in England or something. Where did this take place? West Midlands? I'm not sure where that is. I guess that's somewhere in the UK. You see a lot of dog attacks in the UK. India is also really bad about dog attacks. Like stray dogs in India are really bad. See, India has the highest number of attacks by stray dogs in the world. In Indian cities, stray dog attacks are considered a danger to children and old people. India has 36% of all rabies deaths in the world. India also has the largest number of stray dogs in the world, along with the highest cases of rabies deaths. So, just to kind of affirm that right there. What else we got going on? The girl suffered serious injuries. This one was, I don't know why that's in quotes, by the way. This might have been written by a bot. See again. Dog not classified as a dangerous breed, and why that matters, I don't know. It's a mystery, but I know the reason. But the girl suffered serious injuries and was taken to hospital after being treated at the property by paramedics. She died a short time later. The dog was removed from the home and destroyed on the day of the attack. I don't think there's going to be any comments. It'd be super interesting to see some comments. No video associated with this, so we'll just move on. I gave my opinion on that already. I think this is the same thing. Let's go ahead and look at it. Family's pet dog. I'll just read it and then I'll comment it. I'll cut this out and comment on it, what I think about it afterwards. See, this is insane to me. No further details on the dog's breed have been released by police, but the force said it was in early stages of investigation. Inquiries were continuing. Why? Why is it so hard to just give the name of the breed? See, it's really suspect to me when these news outlets do things like this. In the UK, it's illegal to own a pit bull terrier. Japanese Tosa, Dugo Argentino, and Phila Basilerio breeds without a certification of exemption. And these certifications of exemption, these dog licenses, quote unquote, are fucking useless, because once it bites somebody or kills somebody, these little certifications don't mean jack shit. So what does that, I don't understand what these mean exactly. You can have a dangerous dog in your home if you have one of these dumb licenses, and then once it bites somebody or kills somebody, what does that mean? That the event didn't happen? Like, you see how stupid this gets? In February, extra bully dogs were also banned in England and Wales after a spat of fatal attacks. And again, the same logic applies to what I talked about these exemptions, is that these bans don't do anything either, because when you have prohibition, all that really does is push, it makes it a crime for one, and it just pushes the, let's say the merchandise, quote unquote, which would be these XL bullies. It pushes them into the shadows, into the underground, so you're still gonna have people acquiring these XL bullies. They don't just go away. Like, you do a ban, it doesn't just disappear. Like, it doesn't just go poof and it's gone. These bans are so stupid, and it's really just a political stunt, because these leaders and organizations feel the pressure to do something, right? They have to do something about the dog attacks, so let's ban these breeds, and we can calm people down. Like the bully breed, the XL bully will become the scapegoat, and we can have something to point at when something goes wrong. Look, it's the bully breeds. Let's ban these. But you still have this long lists of other dogs that kill and maim. If I'm making sense here. A total of 16 people died as a result of dog attacks in the first 9 months of 2023. Figures from the Office of National Statistics revealed. I don't know what this link leads to. Okay, it's just stuff I'm not really wanting to read right now. Okay, we'll skip that. 7-month-old mauled to death by pet dog. I think it's the same story there. I think this is all the same story. So let's go over this.
So there was like no time to react at all.
Alright, stop that. Alright, they were afraid of what would happen to their own dog. A dog owner flees park after pit bull attack. And story old as time by this point, in case y'all don't know. Anytime you have a dog owner, not any time, but a lot of these bully breed owners, or a lot of these dog owners who attack people will do anything they can to cover it up. So this is actually an attack on another dog. And you can't trust the word puppy, by the way, when it says a Portland couple was frustrated after a frightening dog attack left their puppy in the ICU. So puppy could mean age between puppy could mean between the age of 1 month to 5 years to these people. You can't trust when they say the word puppy. That's what I've learned from kind of studying these stories. Alright, that don't matter. I'm not going to play that. So let's move on to another story. 'Cause it's I can do this for I could do this for hours, dude. I might actually have to just stop because look at this, man. 18 hours ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Baby killed by pet dog. That's a story from a while ago. Dog attacks on the rise. CDC report, huh? Dog attacks on the rise. The number of fatal dog attacks has more than doubled in the past decade, according to the CDC. While they are still rare overall, dog attacks continue to present problems in communities across the country. So I don't know what the hell their definition of rare is. That's a misnomer, by the way, man's best friend. See, I made a claim in another video where the rise in dog statistics began after COVID-19. Alright, let's go ahead and go over dogsbite.org, a little bit of statistics. I don't know if I want to go over dog bite victims because they're going to show some pretty gruesome stuff. I'm just gonna give the recommendation to go to dogsbite.org and search for yourself, because I don't want to show that on my channel, because they're gonna show mutilated, like people mutilated in the face and whatnot, and it's not pretty. So to me, the main takeaway on these sort of statistics where they talk about liability claims and whatnot, a lot of times it comes off as some kind of insurance scam, because dog ownership is big business, like pet food, pet supplies, pet toys, vet visits, this insurance stuff. And it's just like the medical bills for the people that are mauled, essentially. So if dogs went away tomorrow, there'd be an empty hole of money for these institutions. And to me, it just isn't worth it. Like this right here, for instance, the average cost of a dog bite related hospital stay was $18,200, about 50% higher than the average injury related hospital stay. So anybody thinking about having a dog, or especially considering getting a bully breed, because bully breeds are designed, they're bred to be fighters. Like, it's never made sense in my mind that anybody would think a bully breed would be a good family pet. They're bred to be more aggressive. And again, the Medicaid and Medicare, the insurance scam, right? For dog attacks. It's like, this is your tax money, by the way. If you're living in the United States, this is your tax money. Go into this nonsense. And here's the big one, because there's a false, this false idea that if you're going to have a dangerous breed, quote unquote, around your children, that you need to be present and just to make sure that the dog doesn't attack your child, right? And we got a quote here: parental presence was reported in 43% of cases. The most commonly identified breed was a pit bull. Pit bulls were also the most commonly identified breed involved in major injuries. When they say parental presence, they're talking about attacks on children, okay? Just to make that perfectly clear, so that it's not very clear in this quote. So I think the big one here is this right here. Each day, nearly 1,000 U.S. citizens require emergency care treatment for serious dog bite injuries. Annually, about 12,000 citizens are hospitalized due to dog bite injuries. The below statistics and studies examine injury occurrence in the breeds of dogs most likely to inflict severe and fatal injuries. So you got 1,000. That's 1,000 injuries a day that are reported, by the way. And then it's not going over the demographics, but this is just reported, guys. This isn't the total, okay? And it may not seem like much, but I'd rather see this number be 0. I don't know about you, because it's not talking about the complications involved, or the scarring involved, or the disfiguration involved. You got 1,000 emergency visits per day, and these, like I said, these are just the ones that are reported. It doesn't talk about severity, and the severity is very important. The risk of infection and whatnot, the loss of limbs because of infection, which is a thing, which does happen. So I think that's enough of that. Kind of want to go over I Hate Dogs and his channels really quick. I think I should look at this article first and then kind of go over what he thinks about it and see if we can kind of dissect that. Go and play it.
A San Francisco man who survived a vicious attack by not one, but 2 pit bulls is having a hard time since that incident. He says he escaped being mauled to death by scaling a tall fence. And tonight he is sharing his terrifying story for the first time. KTVU's Betty Yu joins us now after speaking with that man. Betty.
Julie, the victim says he's beyond traumatized by this brutal attack that could have ended his life. The pit bulls belong to RV campers located just blocks from his Potrero Hill home. Tonight, he says he's sharing his story of survival to raise awareness about a bigger problem in the neighborhood.
I just felt something doing like this. When I look back, I saw 2 pit bulls.
A short walk home from the gym near Alameda and Vermont Streets took a terrifying, nearly fatal turn for Pablo Rocha. Surveillance video shows Rocha taken down by 2 dogs.
Just a heads up, guys, I'm gonna censor all this.
He tries to get up, but is attacked again and again. Another camera captures his escape. Bloodied and battered, he climbs a nearby fence before the dogs eventually run off. It happened just after 6 p.m. on May 25th.
So this is my blood. This is my blood.
He underwent surgery and received 30 stitches.
In that moment, I thought I would die. The only thing I was like, I don't believe I'm gonna die like this. I just thought I would die. You know, I saw my friend was trying to help me, but the dogs were just ignoring him. This gate saved my life.
His friend Eduardo Pachu tried to fight off the dogs with a water bottle and ran to get help. Meanwhile, Rasha was stuck in an enclosed space, pleading for help from passing drivers.
The cars just stopped and left.
Rasha said police later told him the majority of the 911 calls received at the time described him as a burglary suspect.
The bites of the dog hurt a lot. But to know the reason they didn't stop to help me, that was very painful.
SFPD said it arrested 2 suspects.
He should have been
39-year-old
packing.
Hillary Flynn and 31-year-old Jesse Alley of San Francisco. The woman is facing charges including failure to control a dangerous dog, resisting arrest, and also had outstanding warrants.
It's been the better part of 7 years that we've been fighting to get our neighborhood cleaned up. And it gets cleaned up, it comes back. It gets cleaned up, it comes back.
Wow, so they both had warrants for something. It really speaks to the character of the type of people who own these kind of breeds.
We call 311 constantly.
Rasha's husband, Robert Fountain, has lived in the neighborhood for 15 years. In that time, he's witnessed its degradation.
I'm on high alert from the time I leave the
All right, that's enough of that.
First time. KTVU's Betty Yu joins us now after speaking with that man. Betty.
Julie, the victim says he's beyond traumatized by this brutal.
Taken down 3 times.
Another camera captures his escape. Bloodied and battered, he climbs a nearby fence before the dogs eventually run off. It happened.
That's terrible. Sort of propped himself up on the fence, couldn't completely climb over it. Just elevate his body so he'd stop getting attacked. Running in fear. Big burly man.
Happened just after 6 p.m. Other camera captures his escape. Bloodied and battered, he climbs a nearby fence before the dogs eventually run off. It happened just after 6 p.m. on May 25th.
So this is my blood. This is my blood.
He underwent surgery and received 30 stitches.
In that moment, I thought I would die. The only thing I was like, I don't believe I'm gonna die like this. I just thought I would die. You know, I saw my friend was trying to help me, but the dogs were just ignoring him. This gate saved my life.
His friend Eduardo Pachu tried to fight off the dogs with a water bottle and ran to get help.
Now,
While Rasha was stuck in an
my life.
His friend Eduardo Pachu tried.
Now understand, this guy is LGBT, and I think this guy's LGBT, but it really don't matter. This is a big dude. And I'm telling you, LGBT dudes can fight. Dudes can fight. Don't matter if they're LGBT or not. It's believed by many that one of the best fighters in the world is LGBT. So I'm just putting that out there for the people who think, oh, well, he's kind of feminine, so...
Oh, you know what's funny about that? No, what's funny about that? I never got that impression. I got a kind of a hint that he may be gay, but it's like, that doesn't fucking matter. This is a big dude. Like, I agree with IHD.
Respond accordingly. No.
Tried to fight off the dogs with a water bottle and ran to get help. Meanwhile,
and they look like they lift weights. Right? Like tell somebody lift weights. Look like they were, and he just said he was coming home from the gym. The guy who was attacked said he was on his way home from the gym, so he works out.
Rasha was stuck in an enclosed space, pleading for help from passing drivers.
You know what's sad? Kind of a tangent, but this dude was a woman. Everybody would have been paying attention and helping him and being all over him. It's just the sad fact, okay? Nobody really cares about men in that way. If they see a guy suffering on the side of the road, everyone just walks by him and no one's going to stop to help. If this was a woman being chased by 2 dogs and pleading for help on the side of the road, everybody would have been stopping. Everybody.
And left.
Rasha said police later.
He lost his shirt, or maybe he took it off for his wounds, and everybody who saw him just kept driving.
Told him the majority of the 911 calls received at the time described him as a burglary suspect.
The bites of the dog hurt a lot, but to know the reason they didn't stop to help me, that was very painful.
SFPD said it arrested 2 suspects.
Yeah, it's because you're a man.
Hillary Flynn and 31-year-old
It's that
Jesse
simple.
Alley of San Francisco. The woman is facing charges including failure to control a dangerous dog, resisting arrest, and also had outstanding warrants.
It's been the better part of 7 years that we've been fighting to get our neighborhood cleaned up. And it gets cleaned up, it comes back. It gets cleaned up.
This is his husband.
It comes back. And
really?
it gets
Yeah, this is the husband of the victim.
That's interesting.
And he's talking about the condition of the community. Now, I don't buy into this.
cleaned up, it comes back.
39-year-old Hillary Flynn and 31-year-old Jesse Alley of San Francisco. The woman is facing charges including failure to control a dangerous dog, resisting arrest, and also had outstanding warrants.
It's been the better part of 7 years that we've been fighting to get our neighborhood cleaned up. And it gets cleaned up, it comes back. It gets cleaned up, it comes back. We call 311 constantly.
Rasha's husband, Robert Fountain, has lived in the neighborhood for 15 years. In that time, he's witnessed its degradation.
I'm on high alert from the time I leave the gym door until the time I get inside my door. And that's not right.
Well, see, I don't want to hear nothing about no degradation. I don't know what this degradation lecture is all about. This got to do with dogs in society. This ain't got nothing to do with no poorly degraded community. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Has spent 3 decades as an event designer who has produced several of the city's high-profile marquee galas.
Why does this matter?
Had Pablo not been 6'6" and 220 pounds and healthy, I'd be planning a funeral today. And the city that I love so much and has given me so much would have taken, and I'm getting emotional, would have taken the thing that meant the most to me away.
This is not
I don't get it. Like, what is this weird rant about?
like remove one dog. We have more situations.
Oh, I see.
More situations.
So, I mean, it was a dog that attacked you, though. I understand what he's kind of getting at, that they're having issues with the community, but it's like moving the goalpost in a way, because like IHD said, we're talking about a dog attack here. We're not talking about your stupid community.
Okay, what are you talking about? He's talking about more dog attacks. I don't know what he's talking about. But listen here, if you ain't talking about removing all these mutants out the community, you ain't talking about nothing. You ain't really just think about it. You're not really talking about a solution unless you're talking about the complete removal of these mutants from the community. Because if you leave some, then you'll still have those that attack people popping up. Their rate of attacks is not going down, it's going up. They're staying consistent and improving on it.
Care and Control confirmed that they confiscated those dogs, but it would not elaborate on the process to determine their fate. Now, the court released the male suspect on his own recognizance with electronic.
I can really tell you guys, just from the patterns that I've noticed, that they're going to do their best to make sure these dogs don't get put down.
Monitoring and a stay-away order from the victim. The preliminary hearing for this case is set for Wednesday. Julie?
Okay,
Yeah, Betty.
So as you can see, you have 2 more witnesses of completely unprovoked attacks.
I think that's enough of that. I think it's all I have to say about this.
Now I want y'all to listen to this.
And I hate to kind of do it like this, but IHD really speaks very well about these issues, and I've kind of made my point. I think I made my points well enough. Like I said, I'm no IHD. He's better at expressing himself when it comes to these dog thing than I am, and I have my reasons. I've already laid out my reasons for disliking dogs, and if you agree with me or don't, it's fine. I'd hate to lose subscribers over this topic, but it's been on my mind for a while now. And, you know, all y'all know, if you made it this far, what I'm about to say, it's like, y'all should know that I'm speaking more along the lines of these spiritual and metaphysical aspects to reality. And I honestly think this push, this dog culture push is like demon approved, not Notnilc approved, dark reality approved. And there's a lot more evidence for this, and I don't want my channel to become this weird dog channel, but I just want you to notice the human reaction whenever that involves dogs. And I don't know, like, to me it's just like in the media, the way I've talked about how in the media it's like anti-cat, pro-dog, and it's not really a case of cat versus dog. It's just something that I've noticed for a while now, where, you know, the cat's always the villain. Like I said in the last video, the cat's always the villain, or the villain is stroking a cat. It's just always involved with evil. Like, for instance, people used to think that cats were the familiars of witches, or that they were avatars of witches and whatnot. And they've just always had a negative connotation to them, as opposed to, like Kirk said, like, dogs have always had this, as if they're kind of, like, as if they're morally righteous in some way, and could do no wrong. And, you meet a lot of people that are like this, and, I can't talk about this with anybody, not even my own family. You know, out of all the things I talk about, especially when it involves men and women, dogs is like the taboo subject. Believe it or not, this is going to sound crazy to y'all, but dogs have been the most taboo subject out of everything. Because anytime I bring it up, there's always a violent reaction. Not like physical violence, but like psychological violence. As if I'm attacking them because I don't like dogs. It's like, it's just something I've noticed, and I've been keeping it to myself for a while now, and I just wanted to get that off my chest. So, Kirk, I hope you're listening. It's a long video, but I hope I'm understood, because I can see how a lot of people, when they hear somebody talk, they only hear certain keywords and kind of hyper focus on those keywords and begin projecting like their own insecurities. I'm not saying you're gonna do that, but this is just how people are, where they begin projecting their own kind of like fantasies, like their worst fantasies onto the person who's speaking. Anyway, I think that's it, guys. Y'all have a good night.